The hospital administrator stepped into the waiting room and said, "Due to budget cuts, some children will be discharged. The ones whose families can pay will share the remaining rooms." Then she smiled. What? I was on my feet before I decided to stand. You're not serious. My son has leukemia. He's immunocompromised. A common cold could kill him. He cannot share a room. She kept smiling. We understand your concerns, but resources are limited. Starting tomorrow, remaining rooms will go to the highest bidders. A bidding war to stay in a hospital when the next children's facility was 100 miles away. It was so cruel, I was certain no other parent would go along with it. The next morning, the lobby was full of parents clutching checkbooks like weapons. I'd badly underestimated how far fear pushes people. The administrator stood at the front with the same untroubled smile. First up, room 204, private suite. Opening bid, 5,000. Hands shot up. A father in a suit bid 6. The mother beside me bid 7. Soon parents were shouting over each other, some sobbing as their bids got trampled, until one mother won at 23,000 and dropped to her knees crying. It only got uglier from there. Parents nearly at each other's throats over shared rooms, while the families who couldn't afford to bid at all sat in the back, hollowed out. Finally, it came down to the last space, a room my son would have to share with 5 other immunocompromised kids. I stood and bid everything I had. 4,000. Someone topped me. I forced myself up again. 6. I was already doing the math on a loan. Then a man stood. 12,000. The room went silent. That was it. The winners were let off to finalize payment. An administrator walked down the row of the rest of us and handed out discharge papers. You have 3 days to find another facility. I spent 2 days calling every hospital within 200 miles. No beds, no openings. I couldn't eat or sleep. I felt like I was failing my family in the most fundamental way a parent can. On the day the papers were due, I went back with money. Favors called in, loans from family I'd normally have been too proud to ask, just enough to try to outbid that last man for a shared bed. I came in through the back entrance, and that's when I saw it. Construction crews working inside the rooms they'd told us were closed for budget reasons. Leather couches, a wet bar, a wall-mounted TV. I stopped a passing nurse and pointed. I thought there were budget cuts. She pulled her arm back. I just work here. I circled back through the stairwell, slipped onto the site, and grabbed a rolled-up blueprint off a table. My stomach dropped when I unrolled it. Executive lounge, private gym, spa, all of it going in where 12 children's rooms used to be. They had the money. They just didn't want to spend it on our kids. Here's where I made the choice that mattered, because my first instinct was to bring every furious parent up there and tear the place apart. But I stopped, because a wrecked wing would just get us arrested and hand the administrator a story about unstable parents. A blueprint proving fraud would end her. So I gathered the parents in the lobby and unrolled the plans on the hood of my car. I watched their faces move from disbelief to rage, and instead of a mob, I asked them to do something harder. Document everything. We photographed the blueprints, the construction, the sign-in logs. Several parents recorded statements about the bidding. One mother worked in accounting and knew the hospital had received a huge public donation earmarked for pediatric care. We took all of it, not to a fight, but to a lawyer, a local reporter, and the state agency that oversaw charitable funds. The story broke within a week. Public donations meant for sick children, quietly rerouted into an executive spa. The bidding scheme, on record from a dozen parents. The blueprints, undeniable. The investigation moved fast after that. The court case ran a few months, and the hospital was found guilty of fraud and misuse of donated funds. The administrator got several years. The board that let it happen was cleared out. The donated money was clawed back and spent on what it was meant for. They gutted the half-built spa and turned that entire wing back into what it had always been supposed to be. Children's rooms. Real ones. More of them than before. One of them went to my son. No bidding, no check. Just a bed and a door that closed and a nurse who actually smiled at him. He's in remission now, and every parent who stood in that lobby with me knows the truth. We didn't win by tearing that place down. We won by refusing to be quiet and letting the paper trail do what our fists never could.